Hey, what's going on guys? Today we're going to talk about 10 mistakes I see low ranked players making all the time. These range from some very basic mistakes that I see people doing wrong to some things people might not know about yet. Overall, if you're sitting around platinum or below, this video should at least have something for you. And if it doesn't, congrats, it just means you need to try a little bit harder. I'll go over each of the 10 mistakes and how you can avoid making them in the future, but before we dive in, just wanted to say a big thank you to today's sponsor, Raycon. Now, yes, you have seen Raycon on this channel before, and that's because I'm a massive fan of their everyday E25 earbuds. These are the only earbuds I use, and I use them every single day. They come in a compact little case that charges the earbuds 4 times from just one single charge, with incredible sound, an affordable price, a compact noise isolating fit, a lot of bass, and being so discreet, you can see why celebrities like Mike Tyson and Snoop Dogg are obsessed with them. Now, if you're looking to pick up some for yourself, you can use the link buyraycon.com/Thanovic in the description to get yourself 15% off your purchase and a pair of some amazing earbuds. First up today, we're going to take a quick look at your settings. Now, while your settings are ultimately personal preference, there are definitely some things you can change to give you more of an advantage. Starting as we all do, if you're still on the default camera settings, I suggest you change that immediately. They're really bad in general due to everything being so close and giving you no real vision over the rest of the field. So I suggest you start with some of the basics like these, which are around what most players tend to use anyway, and then adjust bit by bit to find what works for you. While on the topic of these camera settings, please turn camera shake off. It's distracting and really won't help you in any way. Next up are your controller binds. This one is purely personal preference with a lot of players sticking on the default setup, but I also see a lot of players having trouble trying to boost and jump at the same time with this layout. I've changed it so my boost is on R1, my power slide and air roll is on L1, and my air roll left is on square. Moving boost to R1 gives you a much easier time boosting and jumping once you manage to get accelerating down with your middle finger. The last tip for your settings is to disable controller vibration. Now, depending on what platform you're playing on, there are different ways to do this, but it is easily one of the best ways to give yourself a small advantage in the game. While playing with controller vibration on, it can cause you to make small errors and mess up some shots. And seeing as it offers no help or gives you any advantage in any way, keeping it on only gives yourself more opportunities to make mistakes. Sticking to the camera, there are times you might be using your camera incorrectly during the match. The one that I see most often are players that only stay in ball cam the entire time. I understand that having the camera locked onto the ball makes it easier to track as it moves around the field, but by staying locked onto it, you're losing sight of everything going on around you as well. Remember that as well as the ball, you have teammates and opponents on the field you need to be aware of. Learn to switch from ball cam to car cam in order to get a better understanding of what is going on around you. It can even be just a quick glance to see where everyone is positioned. On top of this, using the right analog stick to look around is very underused in the lower ranks despite it being so helpful for your positioning. Flicking the camera around to check the field can help you identify where other members of your team are and whether or not you should be the one going for the ball or letting them attack, and vice versa on defense. The last little tip I have for your camera use relates to picking up the boost pads. There are many times I've seen players going into car cam to pick up boost pads but not switching back to ball cam once they're lined up. If you are still learning the layout of the boost pads around the map, or even just making sure you get the big boost pad, then I recommend going towards it in car cam, but once you see that you're lined up with it, switch back to ball cam so you can keep an eye on what's happening on the field. You don't want to get caught off guard or be put out of position because you were too busy going to get boost when you could have easily saved a shot if you had been watching. When it comes to boost pads, players tend to have one thing in mind. And while the big boost pads do fill you up to 100, which seems like it would be a good idea most of the time, they shouldn't be the only way you get boost. Learning the layout of the small boost pads and making an effort to pick them up as you play will keep your boost stocked up and give you more time actually impacting the game. If you heavily rely on going for the big boost pads every single time you run out, you find that you'll be spending a lot of time away from the action and be little to no help for your team. By working to pick up the small boost pads while you're playing, not only will they become part of your movement naturally, but you will also give yourself more opportunities to help your team in all aspects of gameplay, which will give you a better chance of winning. If you find you're struggling to learn the layout of the pads, head into free play and turn unlimited boost off by pressing this button here. Then, make your way around the field, trying to learn different paths that you can use in-game to keep yourself from having to rely on the big boost pads around the outside of the field. I know that as you're learning the game, you see that high level players are flying around the map and going for aerials all the time, and you want to try that as well. The difference is they've put the time into practicing aerials and aerial car control so that when they do decide to go for the ball, they're going to connect with it. In the lower ranks, I see far too many people trying to aerials for every single ball and getting mad when they miss all the time. Firstly, going up for every single ball isn't a good idea, as it will often put you out of position when you inevitably miss the ball. Second, you'll find that you'll need to put a decent amount of time into learning to control your car first before you start trying to go for some aerial based shots. My suggestion to make sure you're going up at the right time and improve your aerial skills are to only go up for the balls that you know you'll definitely get to first. Going up for a ball when someone else is going to get to it first will cause you to just miss it completely and leave you out of position and most likely out of boost. To work on them during training, go to the basic training packs and work your way through the aerial ones. Start at the very bottom and work your way up. Try to focus on control and getting the ball quickly. The faster you get used to this, the faster you can become one of the players dominating the aerial game in lower ranks. You ever find yourself being bumped or falling after an aerial only to land and lose all of your momentum? You ever think there might be some way to keep all your speed and keep yourself moving around the field? This is where getting used to using Power Slide is going to help you massively. Now, some of you might just use it for turning corners a bit tighter or moving around the field with some sharper movements, and this is a good start. But if you really want to take advantage of Power Slide, you should pay attention when your car is landing in a difficult way. If you've been bumped or are coming down from an aerial, you might have your car landing sideways, which will cause you to come to a sudden stop. If you want to keep your speed, make sure you're lined up to land on your wheels and let go of everything except Power Slide. This will cause your car to drift slightly in the direction you were moving. From here, you can either try to steer the car quickly back to where you want to move, or you can try half flipping to get your car moving the way you want to with a little bit of extra pace. This half flip movement is a really good way to recover from some rough situations where you're left facing the wrong way. Boost is probably the most important thing in this game, so there's a lot that can go into boost management and making sure you're using it properly. One of the biggest mistakes I see is people holding down boost even when they've reached the top speed. Once your car begins to have those trails behind them, it means your car is moving at supersonic speed. This means that as long as you don't make any sudden directional changes, you're free to let go of boost and your car will maintain this same speed. And yes, while holding down boost gives you a very slight increase in speed, it is not enough to justify holding down boost the entire time and wasting it. Get used to boosting up until this point of the trails coming out and then let go. You'll save a lot more boost doing so, which will help you out a lot with the next problem I see lower ranks having. Simply put, bad positioning comes down to two things. You are not close enough to your team to help them in offense, or you are too far away to help them in defense. There are lots of smaller things in between, but this is the basics of it. One of the main reasons for being out of position in lower ranks is being too boost hungry. I'm sure you've seen your teammates take off on a journey to collect the big boost pads while you're left alone to defend the net many times in the past, and let's be honest, you've probably done it as well. Well, if you've been paying attention, you will already know how to avoid this one, so I won't repeat it here, but one thing I do want to say, which is a direct quote from the coach of Dignitas, Verge, if your team is on offense, you should not be getting boost on defense. This ties back to being there for your team. Make sure you're staying near enough to the action to help your team at all times. Whether that's being there to collect the ball if you're in the best position to hit it, or being ready to defend if your teammate loses possession. Either way, space yourself from your teammates and put yourself in a flexible position. This is a really quick and simple one to stop, but you'll see players doing it all the time. If you're rotating out to try and get back, do not rotate on the same side as the ball. Let's say your opponent has the ball and you're rotating ball side. Now your teammate has to try and get past your opponent and not hit you, all while knowing there is no one behind them to defend if it goes wrong. You're making things more difficult for your team and giving your opponent an easy goal if they win a single 50-50. Instead, try to rotate out and make your way to the back post. You'll have a better sense of where everyone is on the field and be in a better position to defend any incoming shots. Look, I get it. You want to learn how to be a mechanical god. We all do. We all watch the high level players and wish we could pull off things that they do. The difference is, they have thousands of hours into the game to learn that level of control. If you want to rank up, however, this isn't the thing you should be dedicating those hours to. You need to work on the fundamentals before you try hitting some crazy shots. Positioning, rotations, accuracy, boost management, these kind of things are what you need to focus in order to progress through the ranks. While some of you might be able to hit double flip resets in Platinum, it only really proves the point that focusing those kind of things don't really get you anywhere, because you're still in Platinum. Take it from someone who has spent around 700 hours this year just working on those kind of mechanics. Just focus the basics and you'll be fine. The final thing I see players doing a lot is spending their time watching the ball in game. The problem with watching the ball the entire time is that the ball is predictable. The opponent, however, is not. By watching the opponent whenever they have the ball, you'll have a better time reading their movement and understanding what they plan to do and how they plan to shoot. You'll have a much easier time defending the net if you watch your opponents as they approach and get used to keeping an eye on the ball in your peripheral vision. This one goes for all game modes, but it is easily trained in ones as it gives you more time defending the net by yourself. A very simple tip and a very simple way to change up the way you play. Hope you guys enjoyed this kind of video. Let me know down in the comments if there are other topics you'd like me to cover. Also, make sure to check out my social medias, which are linked in the description. Anyway, that's all from me. I'll see you next time.